of the Library Board of Trustees for January the 11th. We'll now move on to the second item on the agenda, the Pledge of Allegiance. Nan, would you honor us, besides with your presence, with leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Nan. I also want to, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank Letty Robinsons for taking place for Judas Gerardo. Here, Letty, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to help us be successful here with our meeting. Thank you very much. Let's move on to item 3 on the agenda, the adoption of the agenda. Danitza?
Chairman Varona, I recommend that we adopt the agenda as is.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented and recommended by Danitza of January the 11th.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Vanderbilt. Second by Mr. Delsey, that the agenda of January 11th be passed and adopted as presented and recommended. Discussion? Objections? Motion carried. We'll now move on to item 4 on the agenda, the call to the public. Danitza?
There is no call to the public at this moment, Chairman.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item 5, discussion items. 1, security issues, centennial celebration. Denise?
Good morning. I spoke to Lieutenant Bermudez on Monday. They're going to send 2 officers from 5 to 8 p.m. They're going to go ahead and direct traffic at 5 to send all the cars to the back parking space. And then the officers are going to stay in the building, walking outside, walking in the inside for security issues. And he told me if we have any more questions or any more, we want more officers, we can let him know.
Okay.
And he will be here at the next meeting.
Thank you, Denise. I still think that 2 officers to handle orderly the parking in the back, because all the parking for staff and everybody's going to be in the back. But we should always have 1 officer in the front door at the entrance at all during that time, at least for the first, at least 90 minutes or so, until we, in case somebody that wants to get in that shouldn't, in case we have any kind of a concern there, okay?
So would you like me to ask if he can have
1.
3?
Yes.
Okay.
3. Okay, Brian?
No comment. No comment.
Okay, Marva?
None.
Ed?
I concur with your statement.
Okay.
No comment.
Anita? Anna? Okay, let's move on to item 2 on the agenda, the Sonoita Building Update. Danitza?
Chairman, board members, I just wanted to say that I reached out to Juan. He did reply. There is not a significant update at this time. He is still in talks with CenturyLink, and he will be here at the next meeting, hopefully with some resolution with CenturyLink and also some updates on the expansion project. So we're waiting for him on February 8th.
Okay. Brian?
Yeah, I would like to go on record that it is absolutely disgraceful, the procrastination and the delay by the county in this project. We were here, I believe that gentleman Juan was here in the month of October, and he said that the bids were in the legal offices waiting to be approved, but they were tied up because they were waiting for the elections. And that was the month of October, and here we are 90 days later, and not one thing has happened. So again, I would like to be on record that I'm very, very disappointed in Santa Cruz County.
Okay. Let's see that we make sure that the next meeting, if not, we can get Jennifer here, somebody. Okay? Let's get some kind of representation so we can get this concern taken care of. Marva? Ed?
My understanding is that the county personnel are working with Danitza as far as the details of how far have they been able to go working with you on this project?
As there is no movement right now at the Sonoita Library. I was there. I worked there on Monday. Now waiting to see if anybody showed up. There isn't anything right now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Have you concluded, Ed?
Yes.
Thank you. Juanita?
Yes, I wondered about the report from CenturyLink. That has to happen before anything else can take place?
I do not know that, so we could wait on that with next month, and Juan will answer that, because what he let me know is that he's working on the cost issue with CenturyLink. So, and I'm sure hopefully he will have an update next month. I do not know.
Okay, I wondered if they had a schedule, a time frame of when one thing is completed, then they move on to the next. Okay, thank you.
Conclude, Juanita?
Yes.
Thank you. Ana?
Oops. Okay, I think it's disappointing that it's taking so long, but I heard somewhere that CenturyLink is not really enthusiastic about working with us because the numbers of people are not what they're used to working with, so they've put us on the back burner. So that could be unfortunate for us.
Okay.
Conclude.
Thank you, Ana. But the only thing is, just since we have the public watching, when you use the term "us," you're not referring to this board.
Correct.
If you please clarify who "us" is defined as.
When did I say yes? I don't remember saying that.
Oh, you just said it.
Cooperating with us,
Yeah,
that CenturyLink is not cooperating with.
us.
Oh, with the county.
Oh,
Our numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're the smallest county in the state, and we have a high poverty level, their return is not as good as it would be in another place, in another county.
Okay. All right, I just want to clarify that because
Yeah.
somebody could be saying, well, what's that board doing? Why aren't we doing that? And
Yeah.
we really don't have anything to do with that. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I will
Ana.
be careful next time.
Please, okay. Okay, then we have finished with item 2 on the agenda, and all of the concerns will be addressed by Danitza at the next meeting. Agenda item number 3, presentation, Rio Rico Library, Victor Grijalva and Clarissa Martinez. Danitza?
Chairman, board members, I'd like to welcome Victor Grijalva and Clarissa Martinez. They will be talking about the activities at the Rio Rico Library. And first up is Victor Grijalva. Oh, Clarissa, or both of you?
Good morning. Please use the microphone at the podium.
Absolutely.
And press the black button so you see the green light on there.
There's a red light, so.
Right, press it so you can get a,
Well, thank you, Mr. Varela. Very good.
there you go. Now you're on.
Okay, thank you. Actually, Victor and I are doing the library, well, we're doing very good as well. In December, he's going to show you some documents that we already had for our activities last December. It was very good, I think.
Okay,
So if you have any question, any suggestion, that will be awesome that you guys can help us. That the library reflects the diversity and character of the needs and expectations of our community.
thank you.
Those needs and expectations are often excessive and the services invaluable. We do have a lot of patrons that like to use the library. So you can check on our report and the paper that I printed for you, how we work last December, and as well, we're working like that every month, doing activities for the community, for older people, young people, kids. More of our patrons, as you know, is about 80% are adults. So we try to work on the adult thing and kids. So Victor is going to help us to do the presentation. If you have any question, please let us know, or any suggestion, okay?
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Victor, you've been standing there before our meeting for 20 minutes. Now is your turn to go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, first, my name is Victor. I'm trying to speak in English, but I learn English. The activities we have on Rio Rico.
I got it.
this is a movie Coco, and
Victor, just for the board's knowledge, his presentation is in our packet, so you can follow along in the packet. Go ahead.
Okay,
Thank you.
the activities is movie Coco. The first activity I have on Rio Rico is movie Coco, and just play movie Coco, and I don't know how do you say about popcorn, and we give popcorn and create a guitar, and like this. The people coming are, I think, maybe 28, more or less. The activities han salido muy bien, o sea, as a success. I think que
Go ahead, you can make a bilingual presentation. There's no problem. Go ahead.
okay. I'm sorry, I'm learning
All
English.
right, don't worry. As long as you're learning, you speak in Spanish though too. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. Han sido, desde la primera actividad que hemos tenido, la verdad que hemos tenido buenos resultados. Esta es la primera con la que yo inicié, entonces yo me siento como muy satisfecho al haber hecho esta actividad, porque de aquí fue donde yo partí. Yo tengo poco tiempo aquí, yo estoy muy agradecido aquí por mis compañeros, mis jefas. A ustedes los tengo el honor de conocerlos, ya había conocido a uno de ustedes personalmente. Entonces, con esta actividad que yo inicié, me quedé muy conforme porque fueron como 28 niños junto con sus padres. Se fueron muy contentos, estuvieron muy bien, se les dio palomitas, como comenté. Estuvieron tranquilos dentro de todo. Y al final de la actividad hicieron una guitarra que cada quien la personalizó a su gusto. Esos fueron para las fechas de octubre. Entonces, las actividades que se están haciendo van por mes. Octubre, pues el mes del Día de Muertos, más la importancia de las actividades de también, o sea, como Halloween y Día de Muertos, ¿no? Entonces es un poco de eso. Hubo niños que también fueron vestidos ahí, no sé si noten en las fotos, fueron vestidos como de Halloween. Entonces es como la importancia de las dos culturas, ¿no? La mexicana y la americana. Ahora en noviembre, December, pinnacle painting and craft, and use your imagination. No? In this part, we painting, only painting on your con painting, and we have ¿cuántas personas, Clarisa? 20 peoples. And the people have fun, and the kids and mothers and coming on this day. Y bueno, I'm learning. Y esta actividad pues estuvo bien. Los niños se llevaron sus conitos decorados, así como si fueran sus de Navidad, sus arbolitos de Navidad, pero estuvo bien la actividad. Los niños se les vio interesados. Muchas madres me preguntaron que si en este punto ya estaban empezando a preguntar un poco más de las actividades que estamos haciendo. Ya había al final de esta actividad, como 3 mamás de la actividad que se fueron personalmente conmigo, me preguntaron que sí, qué actividades más iba a haber. Ya empieza como querer como el interés de empezar a preguntar qué actividades más estamos haciendo, ¿no? Entonces a este punto pienso yo que hemos estado haciendo lo posible, mi compañera y yo, estamos teniendo, hasta haciendo buen teamwork. Entonces, ya tenemos como un público, por así decirlo, que ya está interesado en las actividades de estas, porque aquí son 2 fotos, son 2 actividades, es pinnacle painting, y lo otro es like like a craft and Christmas. Y entonces en esta parte, pues ya la gente ya empieza como a darse cuenta que ya hay un poco más de actividades, ¿no? En diciembre, sí, en diciembre, Gingerbread House. Kids enjoys using their creativity. En esta parte tuvimos apoyo por parte de Denise en esta actividad. Pues se les dio completamente todo lo que necesitaban para hacer sus casas, que tiene que ver con igual, ¿no? En cada mes las actividades van acorde al mes, ¿no? Entonces esta actividad pues viene siendo más o menos lo mismo. Los niños se mostraron muy contentos, estuvieron muy bien. Pues ya en esta actividad pues ya éramos 3, entonces ya era más fácil para mí poder manejar toda esta situación, ¿no? Entonces ya los niños muy bien portados, los mamás muy felices, muy contentos, preguntándome que sí, qué es lo que sigue, y ya se les iba explicando más o menos paso por paso cómo crear su casita de jengibre, ¿no? Entonces en esta parte pues vamos bien. En esta parte de estas actividades, 2 mamás, cada una de las 2 mamás me preguntaron acerca de que sí va a haber más actividades. Entonces ya sí siento yo que poco a poco está habiendo más interés. No sé cómo, la verdad, cómo sería antes, pero pues es que no, yo entiendo que no, ya con entre más gente hay más posibilidades de hacer más cosas, ¿no? Entonces dos cabezas piensan mejor que una, y pienso que hasta ahorita ha habido buenos resultados. Más o menos aquí nosotros, es idea de Clarisa. Hicimos como un cuadro, un collage, donde todas las actividades que hemos hecho. Está ahí en Río Rico Library, todas las actividades, las más representativas. Como todo, ha habido actividades que no nos han pegado, la verdad. Hay muchas actividades que sí. Entonces estamos aprendiendo, estamos viendo las posibilidades de seguir mejorando. Entonces, a una de las actividades que tenemos pensados es acercar sobre las tecnologías de los adultos. Solo que lo que estamos viendo es encajar las necesidades de ellos, porque nosotros vemos una necesidad, pero ellos sí la tienen. Entonces sí, pero si nosotros hacemos una actividad y si no vienen, entonces ahí cuadra buscar la manera de empezar a jalar, o bueno, no viniste a la actividad que nosotros vemos que tú tienes la necesidad. Entonces, a ver, dinos cuáles son las fechas que tú tienes disponibles, y ver, ir cuadrando todo para que en base a sus necesidades nosotros hagamos una actividad a la hora, a la fecha, al modo que ellos puedan asistir. Entonces, estamos viendo lo importante aquí es la comunidad. Estamos tratando de pues ahora sí que darle lo que la comunidad necesita, ¿no? Entonces, más o menos sería todo por mi parte. Si tienen alguna pregunta.
Yeah, I just wanna, I think at the end, I think, should I put enter? Because maybe at the beginning you missed something. At the beginning, that one. I think this is the more important thing about our libraries. If you have a little minute to read it, the importance to read, to share, to learn using their imagination with the kids. Well, and myself, I was a teacher, but now that I work with kids, I can tell that I learned more than I used to when I used to teach it. Another thing that is very important, and thank you, Danitza, and thank you, Denise, for all your support. I mean, everything we have in our mind, they support us, and more than we think. Thank you, thank you. I think a book is a gift you can open again and again, and we read it all the time. Nowadays, people are they still reading, and I go, more than you think. Our kids is our future, and the kids are like, okay, let's read so you can learn. Other than learn, you have your mind, like more expectations. So with Victor and I together, I think we're doing a great team and to work and keep going. And please help us to find any more things that you think our community needs, even other libraries. Another thing that is very important, we do work very, very together with, the other branches, Tubac, Sonoita, and of course Nogales. We're always working like a team. If we need something, they always support us. So, well, I think this is my part, and thank you so much for your time and be with us. You're welcome.
Presentation, it was very enlightening, very educational, and I'm glad there's a lot of things happening over there because this board made it a point last year that in our budget, correct, Anita, that to increase the hours over there available for the patrons over there in the Rio Rico area. Mr. Vanderbilt?
Yes, you may remember that in the month,
Vanderbilt, your microphone?
it's on.
Oh, the other one, Jerry's, okay.
In the months of October and November, I stopped by the library on Saturdays a few times because I was interested in the patronage, in the participation. So how has that developed since mid-November?
Okay, thank you for mentioning that, Mr. Bernard. The thing is that regarding the weather, like you know, no, fine. Okay, I got it. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bernard. The thing is, regarding our patrons, older people, and the weather, it doesn't help us in November, December, because at 5 o'clock, 5:30, it's already dark. So people, they don't show up that much like we wish. So I think we don't have, I will say, success on Saturdays that we thought. Maybe we'll help more, like we're restarting again this month. And maybe when the weather changes, we'll help the patrons to come over on Saturdays. Because sometimes it's like 1, 2, at least 5 a day. So I think, in my own opinion, is regarding, like I said, is our adults, and they don't want to be there at the cold weather, and it's already dark at 5 right now. So maybe it works better, like I said, in the future with the different weather. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Conclude, Mr. Vanderbilt?
Yes.
Okay. Marva?
I saw some really creative ideas, and I'm really glad to see that. But I have a question about your after-school tutoring. Is that going on every day, or what days?
Oh, yes, we do have the tutoring. It's actually from Monday to Thursday, from 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, but the other days from 3 to 5. And we do have kids, two kids a day. I didn't put the numbers for the tutoring all as well. I just put the total, but we did have last month about 50 kids coming for the tutoring.
Oh, okay. The report said zero, and I thought you weren't having anybody come.
Oh, in the report?
Says zero.
Says you
Anita?
During winter break, there is no tutoring. So that was,
only.
That was
Yeah.
maybe why the number was low. Yeah.
But you are having participation.
Oh, yeah, we started right now, December, and we started, I mean, January we started. Yeah, because the holidays, the kids don't go, so the touring,
You
there's,
have one student that comes in,
but sometimes 3 students.
and then the student that does the tutoring.
Oh, yeah, just only one, only student, And she does sometimes 2 or 3 little students to help them.
Thank you. Ed?
Yes, my question comes from our Friends Committee of the Library. First off, it's encouraging to see that activities for kids has gotten off the way it has, and that you've gotten the participation, because the kids become our future patrons for the library.
Correct.
But at Friends, we've had input from the community for an adult quiet reading area and supporting that effort. And I'm just wondering if that request comes to you also at the Rio Rico Library, and if is there a way that we can encourage that, support it, work with the needs and the staff to be able to support that?
Building, it's a small building, so I don't think we have like a special area for like a quiet reading. I think the library, I don't know if you've been there, I don't know, okay, if you've been there, of course, there's a place that you can have a quiet place, a table, and the library is quiet because the children's area is in one section. So the kids wouldn't make or bother you if you're there reading or even in the computer. We have a lot of patrons that come over and use our Wi-Fi, and that's awesome because we have a lot of students, they do their exams over there, and even people that are trying to find the jobs, they're doing their printing, their resume, or even if they have an interview, they do it there, and it's quiet. I think our library is, well, in my own opinion, is the best place I can be, is magic, and it's quiet, but the area that you think there's a possibility, like I said, first of all, there's no space, and the other that I don't think we need it, to be honest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Juanita?
Thank you. I appreciate very much the report, and I'm glad to see the activities, especially, for the children, and they're all participating, and obviously quite grateful to have that opportunity. So thank you.
No, thank you, and they read your books. They love it. Thank you.
Ana?
I have a couple of things, especially for Victor. Clarice already knows about our Book Save Lives training. And the goal of the training is to get kids to develop a love for reading, a love for the library, because that's part of our grant, and a love for lifelong learning. And everything that you said in your presentation really supports that. And I know, Clarissa, you know about it, and we talked about it. But Victor, hopefully you will be able to go to our training. Y aunque no hables bien el inglés, hay gente que han asistido que nos ayudamos uno con otro. It's very important. And then yesterday I met with the teen center at the main library, and Vianney, who is your tutor, is going to go to the training. So if you'd like to invite your tutor, and what the training is how to connect this personality of this child with this book. And we have book lists from Books for Classrooms in Green Valley. We have an endless list of books and questions that we can ask students so that they will read. And within the training, we've had kids that are juniors and sophomores and juniors that have never read a book independently. And unfortunately, that happens because they have assignments and things like this, but the library is the perfect place, and your situation and your warm welcome to the community will help that. What we found in our training was that people didn't just learn, and Laura and Karina from the main library assisted, and people didn't just learn how to help students, but the participants all of a sudden regained their love for reading. So And that's what we want, that the community enjoy reading. And hopefully we'll never have to go through the pandemic situation again.
I hope not.
But Victor, you're welcome to attend, and you get $200, and so would your tutor. $200 in books at the end of the training. So, thank you for what you're doing. I'm really excited for you in your presentation. But let's come on over, and we'll help you too.
Thank you. We will. I'm really going to try to assist this time. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ana.
Clarice and Victor, once again, thank you for the powerful presentation that you made. It was extremely well organized. We'd like to see pictures, especially of the little ones, because that's the ones that we want to make sure that the library serves as a magnet, an educational magnet for them to go over there and enhance their educational endeavors with that. So we thank the both of you for the wonderful presentation, and we'll probably see you in a couple of more months. We'll bring you back to make another presentation, how things are going for the summer and everything. Okay?
Absolutely, Mr. Maron, and thank you so much for
Thank you very much, and the both of you can go back to your work site now, too. You don't have to stay for the
Absolutely.
meeting, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
We'll now proceed to item 4 on the, did you want to make any conclusion remarks, Denise, on this?
No, they're great. Victor has been on board for a few months, and already they've been great. Teamwork has been great. Any ideas that they have, they communicate it to Denise and myself, and it's just great to see the 4 libraries work together, and we have the full support of the board and the county and the city, so it's just
Okay,
good things. Thank you.
good, thank you. Let's move on to item 4 on the agenda. Centennial celebration banners. Marva?
Is it on?
Yes, it is.
Denise and I have worked with Miguel Figueroa, who is printing pamphlets and banner, and we're at the point where we have requisition and POs done. Denise has covered that, and he's ready to print when we give him a size on the banners, the exact size. The pamphlets are already in the process of being printed. So that's where we are.
Okay, good.
Hopefully, we can work with the city to get the banners on.
And the school district for that banner over here. Okay, very good. Thank you for all your work on that, Marva. Newspaper articles, Nan, welcome back, Nan.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see you. Okay, I'm going to need your help on this project, but we've got the full cooperation of the Nogales International for doing a special section. They're enthusiastic about it, and as of an email yesterday, they're putting Priscilla Bolanos, who is their graphic person who designs their special sections, in the email loop so that she knows what's going on. We established some deadlines for this. And of course, the size will be contingent on the number of ads they sell as well as the content that we provide to them. So the deadline, well, first of all, the publication date that we're looking at, we have 2 possible publication dates. April 14th, which is a Friday, or Friday, April 29th. That final date is to be determined, and I think that's probably on their end. They'll have to figure out which publication date they're going to do. But I've set a deadline for our articles and artwork to reach them by March 5th. That gives us a little bit of wiggle room if there's any delays or last-minute changes in the centennial celebration. So in my concept, and this is all subject to your approval, of course, I see this, the Nogales International does lots of special sections, and the most recent one, of course, was their 2020 year in review, which they published in 3 subsequent issues, and it gave a recap of the things that have happened. I don't know what they're going to do with ours. They may promo it on the front page and then do a separate section inside, or they just may do a separate section inside the newspaper. That's their decision, of course. But the way I'm sort of envisioning this is, aside from a banner headline of saying Nogales Santa Cruz County Public Library celebrating our centennial, I've got a working headline of what a wonderful time to be 100. And I think that we could on that first visual, I think we should have a collage of photographs showing how the library, that creates a picture of how the library provides community as well as education. So lots of pictures of people being in the library, community organizations, and community events. So I've sculpted out a series of articles, and again, this is all subject to your approval. I think one of the things that will draw the community into this section would be to have a competition, and I've discussed this with Denitza, to have people submit letters or drawings, and probably the drawings would most especially come from kids, telling the library what the library means to them. And we could publish some of those letters and drawings, pick the best of the best. And then have the enticement for everybody participating in that would be to provide a I think you said 6 gift certificates. Are you able to hear me? I'm getting this weird sort of feedback. You're okay. All right. To provide gift certificates that we would do as a drawing at the end of the submissions, as opposed to a judged, who's the best artwork, because that's all so subjective. So those would be published, and I think that would be a really upbeat kind of thing. Then Denisa has agreed to do a message from the director. You're giving me that look. However, this is a perfect opportunity to strike an inspirational tone of why the library exists and what all of you are doing in such a cooperative way. So that would be one thing. And then, so that would follow the, Dear Library, this would be Dear Community. Let's see, so backing up a little bit, the idea in my head would be to have the articles focus on creating that picture of how the library has created and continues to create community connection, cultural opportunity, innovation, and inspiration. So if each of our articles are sculpted with that in mind, each one taking an element of that, I think we'll have a really nice package. And then and all the articles shouldn't be no more than 500 words, 300 to 500 words. The visuals are important, of course. I'm not sure, are you still planning to do a community birthday party, Bash?
Is that
Denitza?
birthday party
sorry.
beyond what we're having in March?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll probably be in October.
That'll be in October, then.
The community party will be in October. My understanding from previous discussions was that you were going to end everything with National Library Week, which is April. So that has changed. Okay. All right. That's fine. Do we have a date in October? No, not yet. Okay. All right. But we could promo that in that section, right? And then you'd probably want to do a follow-up, obviously, to promote it later on. Okay. I think a short little box on what is the meaning of National Library Week and how you're celebrating it at the individual branches would be appropriate also. Then something under cultural connections, how we came to be, the library's own story. And Juanita did a wonderful piece celebrating the 75th anniversary that was published in the Nogales International. And Manny Coppola said that he was happy to rerun that with with a slight revision, so you wouldn't have to start from scratch. And I think that would be great, because that gives the evolution from storefront library to where we are today. And Kathleen Vandervoot has kindly agreed to write a piece on Abe Rochon under the inspiration heading. I'm going to write a piece about Benjamin Gonzalez on innovation and how the architecture of the library came to be. And then I had something with a working headline of Library Love, a celebration of the ages and how we engage young readers. And I'm going to need the library's help on this to give me more information about the specific youth programs that you have going, the teen center, and so on. So we can work out the details of that. And then another piece called Making Friends, which would spotlight the Friends of the Library and what your volunteers do to contribute to the library's welfare and benefit. And that in that section, we could print the list of the celebration sponsors, if you have them. Then I think I don't know if we need a calendar of centennial events because I don't know how many events are being planned, but I'll work with the library staff on that. If each of the branches has different things planned. At this point in time, do you know what any of those are, Denise?
The Rio Rico Library is having an event February 15th. I'll talk more about it when we get to the director's report, but that's it for now. And we're working with Sonoida and Tubac on making something too.
How about Tubac?
Oh, yeah, we are. And Bethany's going to talk about that in her presentation next month.
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be something at each library.
Okay, great. And then we could have possibly a little short box called Did You Know? And it would be facts about the library. How many books we have circulating, how many computers are available to the public. It would be a combination of promoting what we offer as well as facts about what we are providing in numbers. And this is up to you also. If you have a wish list, what the library dreams about, what you need in the future, which would be an appeal to the public for more support in everything that you're doing. Then I have a question. Is the opening reception still planned in March? Is that
March the 3rd.
March 3rd, okay. Now, that is an invitation only,
Yes.
right? So we wouldn't be promoting that in this special section. I assume the newspaper would do an after-the-fact article. Do you think
Probably
that's reasonable?
Anita, right? Yes, that would be, because it can only, by fire code, we can only have so many in the building.
Right, okay.
So it's by invitation only.
Okay, all right. So that's it for now. I do need all of your cooperation. I can't do the heavy lifting on this by myself. So I'm going to be in touch with each of you to get the specifics from these different categories. Do you have any suggestions, questions, concerns at this point?
Brian?
Not at this point.
Okay, not at this point. Great.
3rd, did I? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, it's March the 2nd.
March 2nd,
Anna
okay.
just corrected me, right?
March 2nd, okay, thank you.
March 2nd.
What day of the week is that?
I erroneously said March the 3rd, but it's Thursday, March the 2nd.
Thursday. Okay.
From 5 to 7.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Brian, did you conclude?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Marva?
For the people who sponsor through Friends, I keep turning it on and off, and it won't stay on.
Maybe you can get that last one.
Okay, thanks, Brian. For the sponsors who gave us money through Friends, I thought I could go to them and see if they would like to use a logo from their company and just put that in as their sponsor. Would that be okay?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that
You're the one who does
Yeah.
it.
Instead of just listing them,
Right, okay.
because most of them are company oriented.
Great, I'll touch base with you on that. That's good, thanks.
Conclude, Marva?
Yes.
Thank you. Ed?
I'm fine.
Thank you. Juanita?
Yes, I have a question about the letters, the Dear Library letters. I like your idea of the drawing, so everyone participates, has a chance. Who will select the letters that will be published?
That's a good question. I haven't figured that part out. I think that would be the library director and the newspaper's decision, probably. If we went through the letter, if Denise went through the letters, picked out what they felt were really good representation and submitted those to the newspaper, I think that might be the way to go.
If you need help, just call on me.
I will. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
You got a good volunteer, Juanita.
Yes, I know, always.
Anna?
I just have an idea from what you said. Even if we don't publish the letters in the, in the special section, if we could post them someplace, because I think they will all have special meaning, especially throughout the community, and that would motivate other kids and young people to participate. But I actually had a question. Like within that section, that part of the newspaper or the special section, would you be interested in pictures of authors, maybe with their books, if they're living authors, and if they're not, just pictures of the authors and
Local authors, you mean?
yeah, local authors,
Sure.
authors,
Do you-
from Santa Cruz County.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think that page, if it's representing, writers, users of the library, community at large, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So
but
do
there
you
would
have
be
some
no
in mind?
article.
Do you-
I'm sorry, there'd be no article. It would just be like intermittent, if there's space, just pictures here and there.
Yeah, that would be the decision of the paper, I think, as far as how that would be designed. But certainly, if we've got some pictures of local authors at book signings or in the library, that would be wonderful. Do you know that some exist on that?
I have my phone. I'll go chase people down.
Okay, great, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Nan, thank you very much for your presentation. It's glad to have you back on board here. And I
you.
hope you're able to attend our monthly meetings so we can continue to go this, especially
Yeah, I
as
think
we
it's important.
approach our March 3rd, March 2nd. I don't know why I keep saying March 2nd. Write it down on the big list.
Must be something else
March
important on
2nd,
March
okay?
3rd.
Okay, March 2nd, Nan, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Okay. real
Thank
good.
you,
Thanks a
Nan.
lot.
Okay, let's move on now to,
Juanita, the book giveaway.
okay. Danita, did you want to make an update on anything that we talked about in our committee meetings about the,
After Nan's meetings, after her March celebration, that way I don't get into.
okay, all right. March celebration, okay. After Ann, okay. Ann has spoken. So when do you want to talk about the list of invitees and things like that?
After she.
I haven't done that yet.
She's there, so.
Oh, I thought you had finished.
No, Juanita's, it's Juanita's turn, the book giveaway.
Oh, Nan, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right. Juanita, I'm sorry.
Okay. For the book giveaway, I've been collecting donated books, and Danita has been ordering books. They've been distributed. Do you have your books at the?
Actually, we just started and then we were not there, so we're gonna keep like a track of the books
Okay.
and the tickets that
Okay.
he or I given away. But yeah, we already have actually our.
Please,
we-
please use the mic. Have to use the mic. The people in the audience cannot hear you that are watching on the TV.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, the books have been distributed, is not complete because I'm still expecting the books that Danita has ordered, but there are enough to get started because the book giveaway will be 4 months, January, February, March, April.
Okay.
And 3 books given away each month.
Oh, 3 books, okay, I
The
just
3, the
wondered.
younger and the older children who are reading independently and the adults.
The adults, uh-huh.
And they're all marked. The books were all marked.
Yeah, I already have the list. Actually, yesterday we made a sign at the front door and over my walls, so our patrons are aware that they can have the tickets for like the raffle. Actually, we didn't put it today because he and I were going to keep a track on the tickets. So because we were not there today, the person who's covering is well. We just want to do it, he and I, so we can control the tickets for our patrons. But yeah, we're starting, and that's why we didn't know how many books are you going to raffle, or a month, 3 a month?
Yes, one for the younger, one for
Okay.
the older readers, and one for the adults.
And that will be great that you guys can help us to do the raffle, and you'll be present when that raffle is going to be done.
You can do it at the end of the month, of each month, if you want to do the drawing.
Absolutely, But I wish that you be there with us, so you can join us and help us to do the raffle. That would be cool.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
And let's see, what else? Oh, we decided that there will be, whoever enters the library can put a ticket in all 3. If they're interested in winning all 3 books, that's fine. They can, but only 1 per month. So if someone came 25 days, they're not going to put in 25 tickets, just.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving a ticket per person, but if it's 3 in a family, I will give them 3 tickets, regarding there's one, like you
Everyone in
said,
the family
for
gets-
juvenile and one for adults. So
And we will see if that increases the attendance.
Yeah, we're still missing, I think, 3 books that are on the way. So I think we're doing good. And that's a good idea.
Okay. And let's see, something, I think that's all. The books, Denisa, have you received the books yet?
I'm waiting on an order. The Capirotada books are supposed to get here next week, and that's it.
Okay, because they will be
I think I missed the Capirotada.
16, no? Yeah, okay, good. So that will finish out
Okay, thank you.
the book drawing. Okay, well, that's all. Any questions?
Ryan?
Not specifically to Juanita's presentation, but perhaps at the end, I would like to talk about the budget of this year-long event.
Sure. Marva?
None. Yeah.
Ed?
Yeah, the issue of books, because of the nature of the celebration, to me, the focus is in the city of Nogales. And wondering, we have 3 that I know of that I've dealt with, authors that are Nogales based. There's Ronnie Capon and her very interesting book on Governor Castro. My former professor, Dr. Miguel Montiel, he and his wife have just finished a book labeled Mothers of the, Mothers of the Frontera. And it's an extended outreach to immigrant families. And it's a very, very interesting book that I was able to secure through the library and was able to read it and its contents. And the other one, we have our own Alberto Rios, Tito Rios, who's the state librarian, the state
Poetry.
poet. Anyway, what I like about the 3 of them is that they're Nogales based. And we're celebrating Nogales' founding of the library system that has benefited all of Santa Cruz County now. And I'm just wondering if we can include those folks in the dates of events that we're going to have for the celebration. We'll be bringing this up in our Friends meeting to be able to pinpoint from our side that we can support and be able to work with.
Okay.
Ed, I can tell you that 2 of the authors, Ronnie Capon and Alberto Rios, their books are going to be featured. So they will be up, at the library, and they will be as soon as they arrive. They're being ordered. And then another book, the autobiography of Rael Castro, is also another book. So these are Nogales-based books. For the author event, that's not the book giveaway. That would be, I think, Anna's. Are you involved in the?
Yes.
Yeah, in the reception for honoring the authors. Okay. Did you have a question?
Regarding our local authors, I know 2 more local authors, which is Jose Ramon Garcia, and their works are very interesting regarding our community and nice pictures about the old town, Nogales, and Maritza Lim, who is a new writer, but he writes more for kids and bilingual books. So maybe you want to include it in your presentations or invitations, because actually they're
Maritza Lynn on the list, but who was Garcia?
Jose Ramon Garcia.
Do you know what his book was?
I don't know the title about. I don't remember the exact title. I know that he writes already 2 books regarding our Nogales community, about the old town Nogales and old people in from Nogales.
He used to live by Mitchell on Pana Street.
Over here in the street.
On Pana Street here.
Correcto. Yeah. So
Ramon
maybe.
and Delia
Exacto.
or his parents.
Exacto.
Okay, we're going to bring this to a conclusion here now. Let's move on now to March celebration. Ana.
Okay, thank you very much, Clarissa, for those 2 authors. I have one actually works with Maritza, and so, we have. I've sent everybody a list, a Google document for participants, names of participants and all the information so that we make sure that we cover as many people as we can in the community that support the library and that represent our community. So please add to that. And Clarissa and Victor, if you have names of other authors, local authors, or participants, I think you have my email address so that you can send any of that information to me. And as far as the March celebration, those are the two things that I'm working on right now, is the participants, and then we're waiting for the invitation. As soon as we have the invitations, we need the participant list completed. And also in the authors, I'm going to put in a special handwritten invitation to make sure that we try to get the authors here.
Good.
That's it. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Danitza.
Okay, I would just like to add to that we will have a musical guest. He's a former NHS student, friend of mine also. His name is David Hernandez, and he plays with a mariachi, the local mariachi.
Very
and
talented.
he will be our musical guest that evening. As far as the meals, I am just waiting to hear back from Nick's, because not only are we going to ask him to do the March celebration, we're looking into see if he could help us out with the Rio Rico celebration in February as well. Just waiting on the quotes for that. And I'm just going to pass around the invitation that Denise has worked really hard on for the March celebration, just so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like.
Okay, but we did bring up, we all agreed that this was the invitation and we liked it, the committee. But we also said we wanted to have some feedback to make, we want to be consistent with the banners and everything else, the pamphlets and everything, to have that as a background though too. So please work on that to make that up, okay? We'll pass this down so you can see what it says in the front and the back basically, but we want to stay with the same theme as the backdrop of the banners.
Change the decorations of the inside.
Okay.
It's just 100 years.
Danitza, anything else? Danitza, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, let's address now Mr. Vanderbilt's concern on the budget. State your concern, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Well, it's not a concern, it's more of a curiosity.
Okay.
We have $10,000 budgeted, we know that. And Marva was able to raise through the Friends X amount, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000. So I just wonder if we're going to be able to accomplish everything with that amount of money. Specifically to Marva and her donors, will that money be available for any of the other events, or just how does she or how do the Friends foresee spending those donations? Were they designated to something specific, or are it kind of going into a general fund for the centennial celebration? And these aren't questions that have to be answered today. Perhaps we could have a draft of a budget for the next meeting. To get a rough idea, how much are you spending on the centennial, on the reception? How much you want to spend on the October event, the banners, the pamphlet, item by item like that?
Well, okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we put those concerns up for our agenda? And would you like to see a written budget?
Yeah, a draft of a budget.
Let's
Correct.
do that. Yeah. I know we're going to, that's how come we had decided from the inception that we would ask an allocation for this year for 10,000 and another allocation in July to carry us throughout the latter part of the year. Mm-hmm. So we're using the $10,000 for the first 6 months. In July the 1st, when the budget goes in again, we're going to use another $10,000 to finish up the year, especially when we're talking about that community activity there.
Well, that's all well and good, but in fact, a few months ago, it was the opinion of the library staff that they only wanted to budget $10,000, the initial $10,000, because there was uncertainty whether the second $10,000 for the next following fiscal year would actually be approved. So they were taking an extremely conservative approach.
Well, I take an extremely liberal approach to go ahead and make sure that we will receive those funds from July the after July the 1st to go ahead and use that. So for right now, it's correct to use that $10,000 for the first 6 months and then the next 10,000 after July 1st, especially for the community event. And that's going to be our selling point to the mayor and
The council.
for the council, mayor and council, is that this is a two-prong approach. And we also have other activities that we want to do for the latter part of the year to end our celebration at that point. Okay, Denise?
So why we were so concerned, it was because the 10,000 were originally going to be for a community celebration. But since the idea sparked from you, Mr. Vanderbilt, of the reception, then we decided to go along with the reception and not quit the reception and stay with the reception. So that's why we decided to do the 10 grand for the reception and then ask for another 10 for the community, to not just quit on the idea that you brought up.
Okay, let's not get too far away from our published agenda. These are very valid points and we'll put that down for discussion at our next meeting, okay? And bring a proposed budget or what we have at that time. All right, I'm going to move on now to the Library Friends update. Mr. Delsey?
Yes, we'll be meeting after this meeting to work out on more details that we have. Marva has already presented pretty much what we have been working with. But the only question that I have, in addition coming from friends for this, is we initially jotted down January 23rd as kind of like a kickoff for the centennial celebration. Is that still in effect? Are we looking at that, or is it totally different?
We're not having that. To tell you the truth, I'm not aware of anything for January the 23rd.
Okay.
Nothing at
That's
all.
all, just
The only thing we're having is March 2nd. And then the other big event will be in October, the community deal. That's what we're doing.
Not a problem.
Okay. Have you concluded, Mr. Delsey, on that? Okay, let's move on to item 6. I'll entertain a motion that item 6 be tabled for our next meeting.
I so move.
Motion by Marva. Second by Ed Delsey to table item 6 on the agenda, which is discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of November the 9th and December the 14th. Discussion, and the reason for that is Judith is not here. She had a little emergency, so we'll wait until she gets here and then we can get everything updated, correct?
Correct.
All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Let's move on to item 6 on the agenda, board reports, current events. Summaries must be brief and there cannot be any proposal, discussion, or legal action taken. I want to go ahead and start on this. My report is that I attended the Children's Library high school play that they had under the direction of Laura Rodriguez, which turned out to be marvelous, let me tell you. The kids, when I walked into the main library there was about 30 or 40 little tiny chairs. I've never seen so many little tiny chairs. And every one of those chairs were taken. Matter of fact, they had to, it's not good in the library to have an activity like that. So that they had to move everybody up so that people in the back they could be provided with seating so they could see the play. And the students of the high school did such a wonderful job, the drama club, to come in and put a little mini play for them. And the kids just loved it. The theme of Mr. Scrooge, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mr. Scrooge. And that was all very nice. I had a wonderful time there. So I really liked it. Okay, Ana?
Nothing.
Juanita?
Oh, yes. I was glad to see that Lynette came up with this wonderful toy donation for December and her Harry Potter event that was kind of a spur of the moment, but she carried it off. And I was glad to see that happening in December. And also, it was a pleasure to see the library director, Denita, at the Sonoita Library during Lynette is on vacation. And Denita was there and got to meet and see the patrons who are coming into the Sonoita Library. And it was good to see you there. Thank you, Denita.
Ed?
I'm fine. No.
Marva?
I'm fine too.
Brian?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, let's move on then to Library Director's report. Go ahead.
Just to reiterate what Dr. Varona was saying, the Christmas play, the Christmas Carol, was brought forth by staff coordinating with the NHS Drama Club and the high school principal, and it was on December 3rd. It was a success. Staff went out of their way, Laura Rodriguez, Karina Martinez, to coordinate, and Karina Martinez's mom, right, Denise? She made hot chocolate, so we had hot chocolate for the families, and we also had cookies after the event. So that was great. It was great to see Dr. Varona, and I know Jerry was also there. That's that on that one. The Christmas toy giveaway, that was a great idea that Lynette had, and quite a few families got toys, and it was great to see the community outreach that she did, because she talked to the realties, she talked to the different community organizations, and it's good to see kids and families using the Sonoita Library. It's great. That's for that one. Next, Tech Days. Yesterday, Karina and Luis had a really good turnout yesterday. The adults were using the launch pads that Denise obtained through the grant. So the adults were learning how to use the launch pads. And I know, as Victor was saying, the Rio Rico Library is going to be asking for the community. They're going to be asking the community to see what days are good for them so they can set up the tech, like a good tech day, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoons. And I know they're working on that. And I'll have Denise talk about the Makey workshop.
So the Makey, I'll talk about both. I'm going to speak about the Makey and the microscope. Those two were obtained by a grant as well. The Makey is to teach kids technology with the computer. So it's a bunch of wires that get connected either through a special pencil that the craft has or with Play-Doh. So you make little balls of Play-Doh, and then you connect the wires, and you can use the computer with the Play-Doh instead of the mouse and the keyboard. The microscope, we're going to do it up in Nogales this coming month. It comes with samples of, it has the little plates, and there's different, like there's corn, there's wheat, there's blood, there's insects. So they really like that one. We did it open to all ages the last time. We had really, really, really small kids, but this time we're going to do it from 6 and up. And we give them a paper where they can draw what they see on the microscope. And I had never used one before, and it's tricky because you have to really, they can use the same plate, but they also use different things depending on how much you put the level of the microscope. And that's what we're going to be doing this month at the libraries.
Okay, number 5.
I'll be passing around a flyer. Staff is just going to be updating it. That's just a sample flyer for the centennial celebration at the Rio Rico Library in February. I'm working in conjunction also with the county manager to see if we can set up a spot outside of the Rio Rico Library so Clarissa and Victor and staff from Nogales are able to help out. And we're also going to be having food. I know Clarissa's inviting community members, and that's going to be on February 15th.
Okay.
All right. And Early Childhood Education Month. Denise?
So Laura and myself have been working with the county. We're getting ready for our February event, which was the Early Childhood Education Month. There's gonna be 2 events coming up that staff will be attending. The first one is on Saturday, February 25th, and that's Art in the Park. That's with Evan Corey. He's working. They're gonna do some. I'm not sure on how they're gonna go about that. I don't know if it's with chalk, with paint, but staff will be attending that one. And then there's going to be the last one, the main one, which was February 11th. That's going to be at Calabasas Middle School. It's going to be in the gym. They're going to close the gym down, and there's going to be like kind of a career fair. There's going to be different tables. First things first, Head Start's going to be there. We're going to be there, and each table is in charge of doing a craft or speaking about their resources for children. So what the library will be doing, we're going to be giving sign language to the children. We're going to have Sonia, she's the one that helps us out, read a book to them and do sign language with the kids and do a craft. That's what we're working on for February.
Very good.
Could I add one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
I was just informed this morning that Laura Rodriguez and Karina Martinez took a workshop class, an informational webinar about applying for a grant from NASA. So now they're going to go ahead and apply for the grant, and the grant is going to include, everything's going to be supplied by NASA to support STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math for girls. And so what that is going to entail is having different programs at the different libraries. And for now, what I know is that NASA is going to provide everything. So we're going to be applying for that grant. And when I have more information, I will let the board know more of that. But that's tentative, so that's a good thing.
Okay, questions or comments? Okay, let's move on then to item 7 on the agenda, future agenda items. Ana?
Nothing.
Juanita?
We are going to have the Sonoyta building update.
Yes, that will be on there, yes. That's on the agenda perpetually until that building is inaugurated.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ed?
I'll just give an update on Friends, the status of that.
Okay. Marva?
Nothing new.
Brian?
Will be on there.
Okay.
When you invite the county to speak about the Sonoyta building, please address your invitation to either Jesus Valdez or Jennifer St. John. Go to the top. Don't wait for the lower management to participate.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you. Our next meeting is scheduled for, yes, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to make a comment. So our Tubac librarian is going to change her name. So she wants to go by Bailey now. If any of you visit the Tubac library, it's not Bethany, it's Bailey.
Okay.
It's what?
Bailey?
Bailey.
Bailey, yes.
All right. And at our next meeting in February, the Tubac Library is going to make their presentation. Okay? And then after that, we'll go to the Sonoyta Library, and then we're going to start our circle again. So we're going to have constant presentations, so the board is updated of what is happening at all the sites. All right. That's it for the future agenda items. We'll now move on to item 9 on the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 11:42.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Motion by Juanita, seconded by Ed Delsey, that this meeting be adjourned at 11:42. And thank you for pitching in. I know that Letty had to leave, and I know there's a lot of personnel items that you have to deal with. Thank you for pitching in and helping us. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn?
Aye.
I thought there'd be more opposition. I thought you guys wanted to stay long.